Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque Painting Live on Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. Central Time. And in your view we have our September box, which is our pumpkin boy and our ghost girl. And we called that our trick-or-treat box, and these are the instructions that came with our boy and our girl. So welcome everyone tonight. So we'll put our painted samples aside, and then we have our two pieces that we were working on last week. So I hope everyone had a good week. So we base coated our girl and our boy, and then we worked on their flesh colored. And then we went to our boy with his rust on his pumpkin color, so that's where we will pick up tonight. So I have my foil for my paint. You can use your palette or tile or whatever you use. I use paper towel to wipe my brushes out on. Some people use brown paper bags or t-shirt material, whatever works for you. And then for dry brushing we use the boar bristle brushes, and we want about a size, I'm going to go at this flat size 5. So a boar bristle brush is a natural hair brush for dry brushing. It's a little stiff. Some brands are softer than other brands. We have the royal brush that we use. So we have had problems getting supplies in, and brushes being one of them. So we're really low on brushes right now. So I'm looking at our instructions. We are on number 3. Actually, we're on number 2 because we did our pumpkin and rust, and now we are going to do orange peel. Let's see, is that right? Actually, it should be hot orange and then orange peel. So we're going to do hot orange and then orange peel. So I have our hot orange, which is OS 439 hot orange, OS 439. So it looks like we got everybody jumping on here tonight. So I hope you guys had a good week. So we're going to give that a good little shake, and we'll get a little pile of hot orange. And then when I go to get my paint, I just get a little bit. I just put my brush on the edge of it. I don't go in there and get all kinds of paint. I just get a very little bit on the brush. Then I brush that back and forth, or make X's on my paper towel to get as much of that out as I can, so we're not brushing it too much. And now when I go to brush on my pumpkin, I'm going to brush across our textures just like we did last week with the rust. And so we'll brush across and build that hot orange up. And we'll just brush back and forth. You don't want it really wet and shiny. It's more of a dry brushing, dry paint look to it. And we just brush a few times and then go back and get some more paint. Now that's really shiny, so my brush was too wet, so I actually wiped that out again on my paper towel, and now I'm coming back to my piece. And so I want to get all my little pumpkin here with our hot orange. And so we'll brush back and forth across our textures. I started on one side, and I'm going to work my way around the back so that now this front can dry over here while I'm working on the other part of it. And when I come back again, then it'll be dry, and I can add another layer. I don't want to finish one area and move on to another area. I'm doing light coats all the way around, and then coming back and adding another coat until it builds up to the color that I want. So we can actually show a little. We haven't done this in a while. So I usually use 3 colors, 3 shades of a color. So we have our rust, which is our dark value, our hot orange, which is our middle value, and then our orange peel, which is our light value. So you do want to have different values of color when you're dry brushing, or actually even if you're painting, it just gives your piece more dimension, having the different colors and better shading. And I generally do three colors, not always. It's not a rule that can't be broken. You can adjust that however you need to. But generally I try to do 3 shades of a color, 3 values of a color. So now we're getting our rust a little bit brighter. So now my whole pumpkin suit, it has a nice coat on it. You can see it's a little more oranger than the shoes and the hat. So now I'm going to go to my shoes and let that pumpkin dry. That way we can come back and build up another layer on there. And again, I don't finish one area. I do a layer and then move on to the next little area and let the previous area dry. So that's a little shiny there. That's a little wet with my brush, so I'll brush it out again. And we'll go to the next shoe. Grab just a little bit of paint and brush it out. You don't want to go in there and get a whole brush load of paint. You only need a little bit. Courtney Gail says she's not ready. Are you ready for Midnight Madness?
I'm not ready.
Courtney says she's not ready for Midnight Madness.
Maybe like a whole month in this week.
She says she needs a whole month in this week. We've been pretty busy. We have some projects going on here and just different stuff, trying to get the boxes for next month ready so Courtney can get the papers printed and all that jazz that needs to be done. I'm just trying to get ahead, she says. So now we have 1 layer on his shoes. Amanda says me, me, me. Linda says she forgot about it. She says she's gonna have to drum up some magic. We don't have a lot of like mismatched bisque. We do have bisque that we'll show you that she has added to our webpage, Brenda's brushstrokesandbisque.com, and you'll be able to go on there. Once we go live, she'll make that go live, and then you'll be able to add it. You can just add it to your boxes. Hopefully there's enough of everything. I've made enough of everything. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. There's just so much time in the day, so so it's just basically bisque. We'll show you guys like on the camera so you can actually see it. And then she's got a few little miscellaneous goodies that we have limited stock of that we'll be throwing that out there too. Probably a couple giveaways too, right? Just need a lot more time actually than what we've seemed to have. So let's see. Debbie's getting married Saturday. Well, congratulations to you. I hope you have great weather. So we have our hot orange on our pumpkin lid here now. And I'm actually going to turn him again so I can get just a little bit going on that lip that goes around down under here, so it's not completely black. So we'll just work our way around with that. So let's see. So now we will come back to our pumpkin suit here and just give it another layer. Again, just brushing it out, brushing kind of lightly across the textures. I'm not going real hard. When I look at it, I would guess there's about 10% of the black left down in the crevices, and the rest is colored with our color. A lot of people don't. It's hard for them to know how much color to do. So really, we're just using the black for shading. It's down in those crevices. And then we have a nice even coat on our pumpkin, so it's not blotchy or spotty. So you want to build that pumpkin color up so it's nice and even colored. That's probably the next thing that people wonder about, how much more do I need? And that's where they usually hear that little bit more, because we can usually see a lot of black coming through the color yet. And if we look, say on this section, the black is just down in this crevice, and then where the stem meets the little pumpkin slice, and then where the hair meets the pumpkin slice. So otherwise we have mostly our color on there, and the black is now covered up, and it's giving us that shading that we need. So we're just going to work our way around again here on our little pumpkin lid. You can see it's getting a lot oranger, not so rusty, looking more like a pumpkin. So now we're going to go to our orange peel, which is our OS 438 orange peel, and we're going to highlight him a little bit. So this is our light color of the three. Again, I'm going to use my same dirty brush. It gives us a nice gradual change of color. Dab into my orange peel a couple times. Brush it out good on my paper towel. And now we'll brush. You can brush across your textures, or you can brush just in the center of each little section. I kind of prefer to go across all the little sections, and it just seems to build up on the center part more. And you can highlight him a little, or you can give him a lot. It really depends what color, how bright you want your pumpkin to be. Again, you would do it in several layers. We'll get one layer on and then work our way around and let it dry and go to the hat and the shoes, and then come back and add some more. No, it didn't get here till Tuesday, so Courtney is reminding me to tell you guys that our clay magic molds came on Tuesday. So I think she posted a picture of that. I didn't get a picture when they were on the truck, but I got them once it was in the storage unit. So we did get our clay magic molds, which are your November and December molds. And then a bunch of extras for that can be extra bisque added to your boxes that we'll show you in the little after show things. Not today though, no, because the molds are very, very wet, so they'll have to dry before we can even begin to pour them. The ones for the boxes will be going to my garage and getting the fan on them. Let's see, we did get all the new gnomes from the last release except the large Mr. and Mrs. Santa. So now that's a really kind of wet and a lot at one time, so my brush had too much paint in it because I'm talking and not paying attention to painting here. So we didn't get the large gnome Mr. and Mrs. Santa, but we did get all the rest and the truck inserts. And then we got a few from the earlier fall release, which was the sunflower stuff. We got the sunflower stack, the sunflower truck insert, the gnome with the sunflower truck insert, the gnome kissing couples, sunflower guys. I'm not sure if there was any other sunflower ones. So now I'm going to go to his shoes, and I kind of did the little fold over on the shoe more than the bottom part, just to kind of give it a little different color from the bottom part of the shoe. So we'll do those on both sides, and then we can flip it around and do the front side. Let's see, what else did we get?
What did you...
It wasn't a lot, but it was a lot of money, I can tell you. Oh, the ATV for the pickup truck, the couple of the classroom people wanted, so we did get the ATV that fits in the pickup truck.
What did you sneak on here?
And then the only thing I added on was the welcome Santa Claus. The big welcome. Big? Is he big? Yeah, he's big. So it's those big welcomes with it's the Santa Claus one. That's the only thing that, I mean, it's really not snuck on, because I told you I was going to order one on every order until we got them all, so. Courtney thinks that's sneaky, but I told her we were ordering one every order till we got them all, so we kind of have that under control now. So I just did his little, the top of his little booties, and I'll do kind of the top of his little shoe here would kind of have the light hitting it, so we'll get just the top of his little booty here where it's kind of curled up. And then more at the very top and then fade it out a little bit. We did get the tall pilgrims. I can't think if it's Peter and Sam or who it is, or Sam and Sally or something. They're like 18 inches tall or 15 inches tall. They go with the cornstalk. They're kind of slim and tall.
Do they stand decent?
They stand pretty good. They're big. They're tall. It's just a nice pilgrim. We have some ladies at the classroom that wanted pilgrims, so we got some pilgrims. So now I'm just brushing on his little cap here. Again, going across that texture, not trying to get too much at one time. And then just working my way around, letting the other side dry while we do this side. And then kind of going right on that rim just a little bit so it comes underneath there just a tad. Kind of make the light look like it's shining right on there. So yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. There wasn't much.
You had a garage purchase.
Huh?
You had a garage purchase.
Oh, we had a garage purchase, the dehumidifier?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the dehumidifier for the garage. It wasn't cheap, no.
That was not cheap.
The dehumidifier will help take the moisture out of the molds in between pores and then help dry the greenware too.
It was really cold in there
today. Once the kilns get in there, the heat from them will help.
That's happening.
And that's happening next week, so that's exciting stuff going on. Next Friday, hopefully. Pending any snowstorms or anything crazy. Let's see. Oh, I only got 5% battery left here, Courtney.
Yeah, I got a slap.
Okay.
About how the week's been going.
So now I'm going back to my little pumpkin, the center suit part to kind of lighten this up a little more. So we'll get that built up. And you can do your pumpkin as light as you want it. If you liked it darker, you could have left it darker too. It's there's no one says you have to paint them the colors I paint them. We just paint them these colors because that's the color of the samples. So it's just a starting point for everybody. So you can always change colors and paint them whatever you'd like. So let's see what else is going on. I got in my pond on Tuesday before the weather changed. I pumped that water down and cut the water lilies back and the other plants. That was fine, but it rained as soon as I got in the pond, but I stayed in there because I was wet anyway, so it really didn't matter. My net is broke, so I couldn't scoop the bottom out, but I can scoop the bottom from the outside, so that's fine. The big thing was to get those water lilies cut back. Let's see, gotta get the net on there yet to keep the leaves out, which are falling left and right, so I'll probably do that.
They're really falling at the farmhouse.
Probably need to do that in the next day or two here. And I just string wire across and then put the net across that, so to keep it out of the water, because once it, like we're in the 40s at night already, so you don't want that net down in the water because it would freeze in there then and you'd have a mess. So it has to be above the water. Okay, so we have another layer on our pumpkin suit part, so I'm going to get another little layer on his cuffs on his shoes while we let the suit part dry. Oh, and then we have a little top of his toe over here, so we'll get just a little bit on there, like the light is hitting that.
Oh, Mom.
What? What?
You sneaked the thing.
Cordy says, "Oh, Mom, I sneaked a thing." I don't know what she's talking about. Gail, I see a blue pumpkin. Oops. You put them there.
I didn't know
Mom,
it was in frame.
No, I didn't do it. You did it. Oh, well. Hint,
That's a
hint,
sneak.
hint, you guys. Guess what that was? Oh, good eyes on there, Gail. Good eyes. Anybody else see that? Oh, that's too funny. So, looks like Denise did the same thing with her koi pond. We actually have the Mako koi molds, and I just got those poured and fired this last week, the large one and the small one. So we'll have those out at the classroom now. I'm trying to get more bisque out at the classroom. So I've been doing a lot of pouring, and now I need to do a lot of cleaning and firing. Although I've been cleaning and firing right along too. Clean the... Brenda says she's seen it. Oh, Connie, you missed it. So they're coming at the end of the show. We do have our sneak peek. Well, it isn't the sneak peek. It's actually the reveal of the box. So, and then I did have... there's 3 other pumpkins that goes with that I painted up too, because the 2 come in the box, but the box will be done in 2 weeks, so we'll have some extra classes if anyone wants to add those other pumpkins to our box. We'll go through that at the end here. So now I have our orange peel on there, but as I looking at it, it looks kind of splotchy yet. So this is where a lot of people wonder, like, am I done or do I need more yet? So you can see that it's kind of dark here, it's kind of dark here. So I usually say a little bit more at this point, so we're going to build that up a little bit more yet. So we're going to keep going here. And if you can let go from one area to the next, that helps let that dry, and then your paint just goes on a lot easier. Oh, Connie says she saw it. Okay.
Except us.
So Cordy shouldn't have said nothing and nobody would have known. Or Gail noticed it, I guess, huh?
Yeah. That's okay.
It's okay because we're showing you guys tonight anyway. Yeah. So they turned out really, really well. I'm really happy with them.
How fast were they done?
They're really quick to paint, actually. So
I like them.
Oh, Cordy likes them, you guys, and she don't like knick-knacky stuff, so that says a lot.
But with purple.
Oh, but with purple, yeah, I didn't do a purple one because like they don't have a good purple anymore.
No.
So we're just working our way around here with our orange peel. I'm trying to get it more in the center of each section so we can have our shading as it goes away from the center and then as it comes back to the center on the next one. So I am doing it heavier in the middle of each of these sections, if that makes sense. So we have that shading with our darker colors on the outsides. Let's see, what else was going on? Probably need to get my flowers and stuff cut back. Trying to get some pieces done and fired for some classes at the classroom. But time just seems to be slipping away every day. So we're just going to brush our center pieces here, our center sections. Going to build up that color in there a little bit. No paint. No paid paint ups. I don't know, maybe Courtney knows what that means.
Yeah, she thought that I was going to paint a set.
Oh, Courtney's going to paint a pumpkin? Well, I'd like to see that.
I know what I want, so I feel like I should just tell you.
I think you should do it on the extra class.
Oh my goodness.
It'd be very easy. It's a perfect starter thing. She says she don't know, you guys.
I've never held a paintbrush.
Oh, come on.
When you like dry brush, I've never ever done that.
Well, there's always a first. You can show them. If you can do it, they can do it. I mean, I'm really impressed when you guys show the pictures how much the pieces actually look like the way that I did them. When you guys finish them and show your pictures, like it's just really amazing. So I'm going to come back and get his cuffs just a little bit more here, just to lighten him up just a little bit more, kind of like he's part of the pumpkin there.
Lisa asked about the Mako situation.
So Lisa asked about the Mako situation, Courtney says. I've just seen the same letter that's been posted on Facebook. There was a post by Michael Harbridge earlier today, so I don't know if any of you guys seen that, but it kind of explains it a little bit more. Probably lets a little more, gives a little more reasoning for it, I guess you could say. So it sounds like they've obviously cut back on the 2 ounce and 4 ounce sizes. Temporarily, it does say temporarily. And I'm sure part of it, and it does say a lot of it's to do with supply chain issues and labor issues and just everything that everybody else is having. And they've decided to produce the larger sizes, which obviously makes sense because they can probably have access to those size containers easier, because like those 2 ounce containers are used for the hand sanitizers and the covers. It just makes it a little harder for paint your own, or for the traditional shops versus the paint your own pottery places that do use those larger sizes. But I know we will adjust and just get the larger sizes of glaze, because that's all we can do, and the stroking coats, and at least they're still producing them. It's just that they're in larger quantities and they're trying to have all the colors available. Just a little more limited in the sizes, so at least they're still available and they're not off the market completely. The other thing was slip. Slip is a time consuming, labor intensive storage issue, so they've decided to stop producing slip indefinitely. There are slip manufacturers usually in every region, so you should be able to track down someone in your region, hopefully. It's just the way things are today, and with the cost of freight, like it's expensive to ship slip across country. So if you can find someone that's close to you that's making it, that'll probably save you shipping, and in the end anyway. So we'll be getting it from our same supplier. That hasn't changed for us. I had checked with him last month, so we're fine. There's different logistics going on with the talc, and talc has gone through this before. It's just one of those things, and you just wait it out, and everything will be fine. So,
it sounds like the acrylic paint hasn't been affected at least.
Yeah, they didn't have anything in the letter about acrylic paint, although that does come in the 2 ounce sizes. So I don't know. There's just everything. There's supplies of everything. It's hard to get yet. And people say that it's going to get worse, so I don't know. Cardboard is another problem I've seen posted. There's certain size cardboard boxes and things that you can't get. We haven't had that problem. We get our boxes from the post office, other than some that we order. We've been fine. We're ordered ahead.
I got enough Bisque boxes to get me through 2022.
Well, Cordy says she has enough Bisque boxes to get us through next year, so she's already stocked up on that. There's other things though that we use, the paper sleeves and the cardstock. Cardstock's been hard to get occasionally. Paintbrushes are obviously been a problem. We've had those ordered since April, and now one of the sizes we were putting in one of the boxes till the end of the year, he doesn't think they've shipped at all yet, so we may have to substitute a different nylon painting brush, but
temporarily we'll eventually get
so we'll just have to take it as it goes. There's things we can't change, and you can't have a meltdown over it. You just have to adjust and move on and work around it. So I'm just building up our orange peel on here. You can see he's getting to be a nice bright pumpkin with a nice even color look to him. I mean, I've heard there's going to be shortage of vegetables because they didn't have tin for the cans. So you just hear different stuff every day. We still have businesses that are closing early, like our bakery closes at 1 because they can't get anybody to come and work in the afternoon. Our Domino's is closed quite a bit because they don't have people on staff. Our Family Dollar's closed quite a bit because they can't get people to work. So I live in a little town of 7,000, so I don't know if it's just a little town thing or a big town thing too, but truck drivers, of course, that's a whole nother situation. I had someone tell me yesterday that they're delivering to businesses better than more than they are to individual home addresses, so that could be another issue. It's hard to find truckers and trucking companies to haul stuff. So even if the stuff is made and ready to go, like they may not have the truckers to ship it, because like our molds were supposed to come on Friday, then the tracking showed they were coming on Monday, and then they showed up on Tuesday. So it's just it's fine. They got here and we got them, and we're going to look at ordering molds for next year, probably sooner than later. Just because things are out there, a shortage. And another thing that's happening, which is actually good, is because the demand is up so much, because people are interested in ceramics, it's making it harder for the mold companies and the supply companies to catch up with all the orders that people are putting in. So that's actually a great thing in the long run. In the short term, like, it makes it hard because we can't get what we want, but in the long term for the ceramic industry, it's great because people are interested in painting and interested in getting molds and all that. So it'll be good in the end. You just have to be patient and don't hoard things and get all nervous, and just kind of plan a little bit. And
I ordered some boxes.
Huh?
I ordered some boxes, but I'll use them.
Cordy says she hoarded boxes, but we'll be using them. So, I mean, get what you need and plan ahead, and hopefully that won't make the situation worse. But one of the problems is the demand is up so much. Like for Mako, like that was Michael Harbridge's in his little post, was that because the demand is up, like they can't keep up with what we need. So to give us what we need, they're going to bottle the larger sizes. So that they're doing the best they can, and we just need to work with them too. At least if someone's doing a Christmas tree and they need to glaze it, and I can't get the 4 ounce, but I can get the pint. Well, then I'll just get the pint and charge them for half of the bottle, what they use. But at least we can still get the green colors for the Christmas trees. It's just that it's going to be in a larger size, and we have to adjust to it. So just everybody hang in there, and it's great because it's showing that our industry is growing and there's more interest in it. So hopefully that helps. So what else we got going on? We got people recycling Courtney's paper. Yep, the girls bring their boxes back to the classroom, and the bubble wrap and papers too. So now we have our little boy, I think, where his little pumpkin should be. So that's we're going to add just a little bit of our lemon peel on there to make it just a little bit brighter. If you don't want it brighter, you don't have to do that. So we have our lemon peel, OS434. And if you have questions about something, like go right to the source. And don't believe everything you hear and see on Facebook. Like with our slip, I called the company where we get the slip from. So just go right to the source and try not to spread rumors about it and believe half truths and all that are out there. So because that just makes the whole thing worse then. So now I'm just adding my lemon peel kind of in the center of each of my little sections here of my pumpkin, just to kind of highlight it, but then we're going to come back over it with our orange peel. It'll just make that orange a little bit brighter with that yellow underneath it. And that's like the light is hitting the center of those sections, so it's just a little bit. I'm turning my flat brush on its edge kind of to have a nice narrow center right up the middle of each of those. And even though it's yellow, once we put that orange peel back over it, it'll be the orange peel again, but it'll be like a brighter shade of it. I might tend to do that quite a bit with different colors. Put that bright color underneath it and then the color back over it. And that helps give you another shade of that color. So I have each little section done on his pumpkin, so now we'll do his little hat here. Kind of get a little bit in each section of the hat. And I haven't gone back and gotten more of the lemon peel just because there's enough in the brush. I'm not putting a whole lot on, just enough to kind of highlight it. And then just working my way right around his little hat. Getting more at the outside edge and less as it comes in because it's wider. And that's where more light would be hitting it again. So you always want to think about where the light's hitting your pieces when you're dry brushing them. And we'll just put just a touch on his little tips of his shoes. And now we'll go back to the orange peel with our same dirty brush. And now we'll go back over that lemon peel. And that will just seem brighter, but it'll still be the orange color. So that's a little wet there, so I'm gonna should have brushed my brush out a little more. I'm just going back over each section with the orange peel in the brush now, just to tone that yellow down just a little bit, but make my orange a little brighter in those centers. You can see we have nice shading. We go from bright to medium to darker. I know Gare had a little press release yesterday too, and that's on Facebook too, so you can listen to that too. They're kind of experiencing shortages, but they're getting containers every week too, and it's just that the demand is higher than it's been in the past too, so then that makes their shortages really more than what they really would have been. So there's just a lot going on in our industry because there's a lot of interest in it again. So yep, Cordy says we have a lot of new people even coming to the classroom. So now here you can see this is more yellow and this is more back to our orange. Once you go over it with the orange peel, it just brings that orange back, but it's just like a brighter highlighted orange. So Cordy says we got a question. What is our question? Sandy says, I'm going to attempt dry brushing crackpot reindeer. Can I use brown instead of black? I would use a really dark brown, like the black brown, or black. But you'd want a really dark black brown or a walnut color if you don't want to use black as your base coat. So hopefully that answers that. And then we'll do a little bit on the tips of those shoes again because we put that yellow on there. Okay, so there's our little guy looking all cute. So I'm just making sure that it does, like, it's not yellow coming through, it's more the peachy, pumpkin-y color. So I think he looks pretty good now. Okay, so what do we got? So I shouldn't post. I've seen that Cordy really loves to paint. Who put that?
So someone told you a lie.
Yeah, someone told you a lie. That's a big truth. Cordy likes computer work, you guys. That's what Cordy likes.
Not a big crafter at all.
So, okay, so we have number 3 done. And now we can go to number 4, which is to paint out our black on our jack-o'-lantern. So I have black, OS 476 black.
Vicky said she's at a shop today and the owner said she has 60,000 molds.
A lady, someone has 60,000 molds. I can't imagine. Holy smoly.
How much do you think was up in Iron Mountain when we went?
Iron Mountain, I think, started out with like 40,000.
Okay.
You know, if you can imagine that
Yeah.
full. But 60,000 is a lot. There's a place in, I think it's Horsehead, Pennsylvania. I think they have a lot of molds. So my brush, so now here's a brush that didn't get washed out last time or the time before. So it's kind of stiff in there. So I'll actually take this with me and use Murphy's oil soap and condition it, rub it in there, and that will soften that back up. So I'll just have to put that aside and get a different one. So I have my 4595 liner. I'm going to dip it in my black water first to condition it. That keeps the paint from going up into your ferrule.
Okay, I gave it to you.
And now I'm going to load up my liner with my black because we have little face to do. So I pull that through my black and then I'm turning that in my fingers. And then I lift as I get to the end and that puts a nice point on your brush. So Marianne says, how would you keep 60,000 molds? Yeah, probably in a barn or a big pole shed or something.
We were in a big pole shed that time.
Yep, it was like a big warehouse type of place we were up there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big building.
Yep, really, really big. So now we're just going to paint out our little jack-o'-lantern faces here. So I'm resting my my holding hand is on the table, and then I'm resting my painting hand on my piece also. That way you get a nice steady brush line. And then I like to pull the brush towards me instead of away from me. So this is a 5-0 liner, 4595. And then you do need to turn your piece to make it easier to do your painting. Don't just hold it in one direction and then try to paint it because it'll make it hard. So turn your piece to make it easier for you to paint it. So let's see what else. So we could have question, please explain how you clean your brushes with Murphy's oil soap. So I just take and squirt, like that brush is dried up. It's probably been sitting here since last week or the time before it got missed when I cleaned them. So I'll just take that Murphy's oil soap, which is a liquid soap it's like a furniture soap. Squirt some on the end of those bristles. And then just kind of massage it in there. So I would squirt it right on those brushes and then those bristles, and then I just kind of gently rub it. You don't want to wreck your bristles, and it'll soften it right up. Put it underneath the water and just keep doing that. Once your soap is out, add some more soap, and it'll soften it right up. I've had brushes that I've had that were, when I found out you could do that, probably been for a year or more, dried up in there, and I did that with them, and some took a little more work, or even letting it in there overnight and then washing it out the next day. But I really haven't had any brush that I haven't been able to clean up with that. I think alcohol is another thing you can do that will soften those up if you have a really dried up brush too. I've just learned that Murphy's oil like 20 years ago, and that's what I do if I have brushes that are stiff. So at the classroom, I probably have like 10 of them right now because people are really terrible about washing out their brushes there. So I have to take probably an hour and wash brushes with Murphy's Oil soap to break that hardness down, and they'll wash right up.
Save them for a video.
Huh?
Save them for a video.
Save them for a video? Okay. Cordy says save them for a video, so I guess we'll do that. Oh, Faye uses it to clean horse tack. I don't know, it's it's for furniture, I think, but that's what I used it on originally, but it works really well to soften up those dried up brushes.
Does it work when the brush separates?
So Cordy asked, does it work when the brush separates? So usually those brushes are separating because they're full of paint up in the ferrule. So that would help clean that out. You'd have to massage them to get that out of the center. I also seen a trick where a lady took her brushes like that and dipped them into a cup of hot water, dipped them straight up and down, and that put them back into their point too, but I haven't tried that. So I don't know if that one works or not. But usually if they're sticking out is because there's paint up in up in the center of your bristles, and you need to get that paint out of there, and the Murphy's Oil soap should work for that. Or even if you have the brush cleaner, like Mako and Duncan have brush cleaner, you can use that too, but I just usually use the Murphy's Oil soap. So we're just painting out our little face here, right where the lines are on the little costume itself. And we're just using black and a 5-0 liner. Okay, so we got that done. So I'm rinsing my brush out in the water, patting it on the paper towel. Then we have, the next one is to dry brush the shoes rust, which we already did that when we were doing the rest of it. So now for the treat bag, I mixed real red and navy to create a dark shade of purple, because we haven't used a dark shade of purple, so we're going to get some real red in our navy. Let's see, where's the navy? Huh? It's right here, tipped over. And then our navy, so our OS 460, so I'm going to put a little drop of navy on my foil, and you want to, actually I need to shake it up first. So we got some navy, and we're going to take our real red and add a drop of real red to that. And then I'm going to take my palette knife and mix that up to try to get a nice dark purple. So it's still pretty blue yet, so I'm going to add a little more red. You just want to make sure you mix enough, because it's always hard to match your colors when you're mixing your own colors. So that's pretty dark purple there. Cordy says we missed a question.
What size, or maybe you answered it, what size brushes do you use for dry brushing these pieces?
So what size brushes do you use for dry brushing these pieces? I use anywhere from like a 3 and a 5 mostly, and then rounds and flats. So like his little bag here, I'm just going to use about a size 3 if I can find one here in my tray. And they're falling all over. So this is a 3. Probably go with this round. That's a 5. So I have a 3. This is a 3 flat, so I'm going to dip into my purple. I'll brush that out on my paper towel. And now I'm going to dry brush our little boo bag here. And I'll start away from the shoes and then work towards the shoes, leaving the black crevice down in there for the shading. But I don't want to do big back and forth strokes so that I get my shoes all dirty with purple. Same with the pumpkin up here. And then we'll work along the side of the shoe here. So I start away from it, move towards it, towards the shoe, and then stop right before the shoe. You wouldn't have to use the purple, you could go right to the gray or the white, but I kind of wanted a nice purpley hue to his little bag. I didn't want it just white. And then always come down on the bottom and get your bottoms as well. And then we have the little handle up here, so we'll just use little strokes to get his the top of his bag, and without getting our pumpkin suit all full of our purple. But I just start away from the pumpkin and just slowly nudge towards it till I can see that the bag itself is covered with the purple. And then I'll come to the back, and again we'll start away from our bag, the shoes, and then make those little brush strokes and just nudge it up to the edge of the shoe, kind of letting that black down in the crevice. Hopefully you can see that.
Does Doc Holiday paint really self-seal? I'm not sure about that.
So we have a question, does Doc Holiday paint really self-seal? There's other paints out there too that market that they self-seal. I still always seal mine. That's just kind of a personal preference. So I even if I use Doc Holiday, I still seal them. Now we can do our bigger back and forth strokes on the sides of our bag here, because we don't have to worry about getting the pumpkin orange or the shoes orange or the orange shoes purple or the pumpkin purple. And then come back around to the front. So when you have little areas, you have to use smaller brushes, and when you have bigger areas, you can use the bigger brushes. A lot of it's personal preference too, like maybe you want to use just little brushes. It's really up to you. Kind of like the brands of brushes. Some people like really stiff dry brushes, some people like softer dry brushes. I like the softer dry brushes. So kind of like anything, it's just personal preference. Okay, so we have our little bag all done up with purple. Let's see, any place else that needs purple. So that should be good. So now we can go to our regular purple, which is OS 452 purple. So we get a little purple, which is way too much. And we'll get our new paper towel. And I'll use my same dirty brush, go into my lilac, kind of brush it out on my paper here. And now we'll brush lightly back and forth. Again, starting away from the pumpkin and work towards it so you can get the area covered with the purple. Same by the shoes, just make little strokes, don't make big strokes so you get your shoes all full of purple that you have to redo them. But you're still leaving a little black between the bag and the shoe. So that was a little too wet. I'll have to brush out my brush. And I'll brush across my bag. Again, start away from the shoe, kind of brush towards it. So I kind of like the ghosts and the mummies to have that either like a purple or a lime green look underneath that white. So I'll do that usually instead of just doing them a gray and a white. And we got to get his little bag up here on top. It's okay if you get it on the hand because we haven't done the hands yet. So we have a question, what does the color wheel actually do? The color wheel actually does lots of things. There are usually instructions on the color wheel on how to use it. It can show you colors, how to match colors. It shows the grayscale for the value of colors, like the light, medium, and dark that we talked about. You can always look for a video on YouTube, but the color wheel is really, really helpful, especially if you're not good at combining colors, I guess, or picking colors to paint something. Huh? So Cordy has a new computer for her birthday, so hopefully we can squeeze in time sometime to do more videos on things like that. We can go over the color wheel a little bit when I finish this little bag here, but I don't want to get too depth into it while we're right in the middle of the bag here. But the color wheel is really useful, and there usually are instructions on the colors wheels on how they work and what you can do with them. So now I can make my bigger strokes because I'm away from my edges, so I can. You could also switch to a bigger brush if you wanted, but this is just a little piece, so I'm just going to stay with the same brush instead of dirtying another brush. If it was a huge area, I would probably switch to a bigger brush and just use the little brush around the edges. So this guy's actually getting a little bit worn down here. We're running out of bristles almost. But sometimes those are the best brushes for doing your edging. So you can see we have our purple and then we still have our black in between our legs and our bag, so that gives us that shading between the bag and the legs, so it makes our bag, like, gives it more dimension. I think we're kind of wearing these bristles down on this guy a little too much, maybe. No, you don't. He's like down to the nitty-gritty here. Might have to switch for the next color, though. I think he's about died.
How many brushes have you actually thrown out?
How many brushes?
Put in the trash.
Put in the trash? Not very many. Because they might come in handy for something. He's probably not going in the trash. Some little area he might work just perfect in. But as you can see, he's down to nothing. But he works good along the edges, so. Kind of don't like to part with the brushes. So we're kind of just getting our purple built up, so it's just the black left down in the crevices. And I think he's about done here, you guys. The brush, that is. We'll get every little ounce out of him that we can. You can see we just have our black mainly down in all the little shaded areas. So I gotta put him aside, he's done, I think. Okay, so now we have, our next color is white. So we'll go to our white, OS3 white. We'll get a little pile of white, and I had to break down and go to a new brush because I kind of killed that one. And my other size 3 is looking about the same. Let's see. I guess we'll go to this size 3 round. Work our white in there a little bit. And now we'll kind of brush over that. And that'll give us our little purple hue. How are we doing on time?
8:02.
8:02. So again, I'm going across my little textures so you can see the little wrinkles in his bag. I'm going across those. And then we'll just work our way right around. So I like to do this purple white combination on Ghost, but I thought it'd be cute on the bag because he does have like a little ghost face on it. So that's why I did that. So let's see what's going on. Anyone else have? Denise says she's intimidated by the eyes. Yeah, it's harder to do eyes the older you get.
Well, that was hard.
Well, that's what she put.
Okay.
I'm just agreeing with her.
That's
No,
what you told her.
no, I didn't tell her that.
Oh
That's
my
what she
goodness.
put. I was just agreeing with her. Oh my God. Oh, it is harder. So,
That's some cold water.
wow, Gordy. Oh, I was just agreeing with her that painting in general gets harder as you get older because it's harder to see stuff, harder to hold stuff, and just
Harder to get out of bed.
harder to get out of bed, everything, right? Harder to go up and down steps, everything.
Don't sit on the floor.
Well, you say that like you're getting old. You're only 34.
Might as well be 64.
Well, we'll just wait till you get to be 64 then. So we're just building up our white on our little ghost bag here. So you can see we kind of got that purple hue coming through. It kind of has that, gives it like a little spooky nighttime look to it. I mean, I know I used to like work out in the flower gardens from like 8 in the morning till 9 at night. Now like 4 hours and I'm done. It's too hot out. You can't take the heat. Cordy never liked the heat anyway, so
I
can't
never
blame that
liked
on
the heat.
anything.
I am not a heat person.
So we're just building up our white, so we have lots of white, but we can still see that purple through there. He's moving right along. This is actually how we did I think that's how I did the girl too, but I might have, maybe not, I might have forgot to do her with the purple first. So there now I gobbed it up with too much paint, so I got to brush out, and now we got to kind of build that up and even that out a little bit. So that's what you don't want to do, is get a whole lot of paint on there at one time like that. So the other thing I like to do is to like save a set of brushes for just white. So this brush had orange in it before, so I'm getting a little bit of a peach hue to my white. So I do like to save a set of brushes just for white, for doing white. And I don't have a set at Courtney's just like that, but if you want to keep your whites pure white, it's a good idea to keep a set of brushes that's just for your white. But we're okay here tonight, so.
Do you do that for dry brushing and nylon, or just dry brushing?
So Cordy asked if I do that for dry brushing and nylon. Yep, for both of them. I just like a set just for white.
Liners too?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. It just keeps your white really pure. So we got that done. So we can now dry brush his legs with our avocado. So we'll get some avocado. We have our OS 466 avocado. So his shirt and his pants are avocado. And my little paint's not coming out here. Poke that with the ball stylus. Oh, and his little stem on top is avocado too. Let's see, which brush am I going to use this time? These guys are getting kind of worn. But I guess we're going on 2 years, huh? Oh no, because I had the purple ones before and you took them away. So I have a size 5, which might be a little bigger than I want, but my 3s are kind of dying here. So his little shirt and his little leggings and his little stem are the avocado. So we'll dry brush that with our avocado, and I'll just have to be careful here on the edge. Maybe we'll switch to a small brush just for that. So I probably would use a 3 over the 5, but my 3s are looking a little worn out. And I'm going across my stems so the black stays down in those crevices. So we'll talk about the color wheel at the end after we get a layer of avocado on here. Kind of forgot about it before we switched colors. So I'm just working my way around the stem, not getting it all on at once, so it can dry in between. Now we'll come down to his little shirt sleeves here. And we'll brush back and forth. And I don't like that brush either. Let's see. I'm going to go to this number 5 round that's a little bit worn. That one just seemed a little too stiff for me. So there we go. It's going on a lot softer looking, so that's what I like.
Denise is 70.
Well, see? Look at there. Good for you, Denise, for keeping up painting. That's great.
45 years.
45 years. That's a long time. I have 40. So we're just dry brushing our little...
I got one caterpillar.
Huh?
I got one caterpillar.
Cordy says she's got one caterpillar that she painted. That's it.
Did it take me a long time?
Oh, I don't remember. That's like you were like 8 years old.
I can see it taking me long.
No, it didn't take months. Probably just a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have dry brushes right now.
Cordy says we don't have dry brushes right now. You guys were
Fingers are crossed. They come before the box ships.
she's got her fingers crossed we can get them before the box ships, but when we I talked to our supplier yesterday, it wasn't real good. So we'll have to see what we can do. So I'm just getting a nice coat of our avocado on all our little green areas here. His shirt collar will get it too. I did switch to a round brush. This one's worn. It's a size 5, but it's worn down pretty good, but my flat brush was worn down too much, so I had to kind of switch to one with a little bit more bristles on it. Just for a little bit softer look. It was giving it too brush marky look, the other one, because it's too worn. And I want to get his little collar. You can switch to a smaller brush to do the collar so you don't get the face all full of green if you have one. So you just want to keep going across your little textures. So we have our little arm textures. Between the arm and the pumpkin, I start away from it, kind of do a little backwards comma or a C stroke and work it up to the black crevice. That way I can see where that paint is going without making big back and forth strokes and getting my pumpkin all full of green. Same up by his face there. And then just kind of work it around. And then where I have more arm, I can make those bigger strokes. So we'll show you, we'll go over the color wheel a little bit, and then we will show you our October box. Did you pick one of the names, Courtney?
No, I just call it October box.
October box? Oh Lord.
Having a rough day.
And I will come down and do his little legs. So we'll go over the color wheel a little bit. We'll go over our October box. And then we will sign off. And we will come back on for our after party.
Won't be as good as usual.
Won't be as good as usual, but we have some stuff. And then
For it next month.
we do have quite a bit of Bisque to show you guys that you can add to your box by going to brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com. You have to be getting an October box to be getting extra Bisque. And then as long as you don't have a post office box, we'll cover the shipping. It'll be free shipping then for your extra Bisque.
For extra Bisque, if you have a PO box, it's $9.99.
So Courtney says if you have a PO box, then it's the $9.99 for your extra pieces. So you could have your stuff shipped to someone with a address.
For shipping UPS and FedEx.
Because UPS and FedEx does not deliver to a post office box, so that's why we have to do that. But then we are covering your shipping, so you'll have to be getting a October box to make any of the extra purchases, and then you will put in pick up at store, which is just a workaround, so it doesn't charge you shipping. Otherwise, Courtney has to go back and refund everyone shipping. So now we have one layer on our little boy, and I think we'll go over our color wheel, and then we'll do show you guys our October box, which I think is pretty cool. And then we'll pick up with this guy next week with our green, and he'll get finished, and we will move on to our girl. But after tonight's show, we will sign off and then clean off the table and then come back on, so you guys can come back on with us. It won't be a midnight thing, because we'll try to do it for an hour or so. So that's our little guy, how he's looking. He's kind of coming to life here. So let's show us your, clean this off here a little bit and go over some color wheel stuff, which we haven't done in a while. So let me grab 3 colors here. We'll go back with our oranges. Get rid of this. Are you out of color wheels, or do you have color wheels yet?
I have 2 only colors.
You only have 2? Oh boy, and those come from China. They take a long time to get. We probably have to order.
Hobby Lobby has.
Oh, Hobby Lobby has them too.
You can get them at Hobby Lobby for about the same price.
Yeah, you can get them at Hobby Lobby for about the same price. So there are different types of color wheels. The one we have is a 3-piecer. What's nice about it is you can spin the front and the back. So there's little writing on these, and it tells you about primary colors, secondary colors, and warm colors and cool colors. Like all that information is on here. Like it's really a handy little guide because of that. Then on the back, we have more information, and it tells you about the colors again, the monochromatics, and just the whole thing. And you can spin these. So say if you had something that's blue and you didn't know what to put with it. So we put it on our blue. So now the triangles show you the different ways, but like you can go across from it. You can go beside it. It all depends how you split it up, what colors can go with it. And when we go back to the front, we have the, you can do the same thing on the front. Say you can pick blue. So we could, let's see, so we did that kind of with the violet. Where's our violet? So we had, so we'll just say you had blue, because this might be the easier way to explain it. So we have blue on the outside, and that's the color. So if I had blue and say I wanted to add red to it, which is what we did with to get our purple, that shows us that then it says adding red right here. So we have blue and we added red and it made purple. So the color that's in the little open box is the color that it made. So if we spin the yellow to the blue, so we have blue and we add yellow, we get green. So it just helps you like figure out things. But the biggest thing that I like it for is because it has the grayscale on the one side. So we have our grayscale. So we have 10 is like white and 1 is like black. And this is where I find it the most useful. So like I like to use 3 shades of a color. So we have our dark and our medium and our light. So, whoa, just tipped the boy over. If I were to pick, let's see, you want to pick colors that are different values. So you want something from the dark value, something from your medium value, and something from your light value. So it's not that they're gray, but that they're the value of the color. So if I put this rust next to black, it doesn't seem like the equal value or shade of it. But if I move it down the scale, so once I get to about 3 and 4, my value or brightness of my rust is equal to that. Like they look equal, even though they're different colors. The brightness or the darkness looks equal. So if I take my orange, my hot orange, I can see that my hot orange is way brighter than my black. And if I spin that around, we had rust at 3 and 4, and you can see that it's brighter or whiter than 3 or 4, but we can keep coming around, or you can spin it. And as we come around, we can see that the brightness or the whiteness of our hot orange is more like our value of 7. So it's a lot brighter than the black, and it's a lot darker than the white, but it's kind of equal to the 7. So now we have our third color, which was our orange peel, and we can see that that's a lot brighter than our orange peel, but it's still darker than our white. So we can probably equal that over here to like the 9 or the 8. So that gave us like 3 values of color. So if I took another 3 colors, say, let me grab one more that might be close here. So if I had something and I picked these 3 colors, and I look at these 3 colors now on the color wheel to see what value they are. When I look at them, so my medium green is lighter than my black, so I can probably bring that around. It's probably like the 6 value over here. And now I take my purple and it's lighter than the black, and I bring it around and it's close to my 6 or 7 value, again kind of the same as my green. And then we have our orange peel, and again it's brighter than the black, but I bring it around and it's kind of equal to the 6, 7 here. So all 3 of these colors are the same value of color. So if you were to put them together, they would be kind of blah, because one's not lighter and one's not darker. And you really want to have 3 shades of color that are 3 different shades. So you can see how we have dark, medium, and light. And that's how you can use the color scale. So again, these 3, if they were all together, none of them would stick out on your piece because they're just all the same color. So like when we look at our boy, we have our dark color down here. We kind of have our medium color here, and we have our light color here. Same with our green. This is the finished one, so we have our dark green in here, we have our medium green here, and we have our light green on our collar. So that's what gives your piece more shape and just more interest. If all the colors were the same equal shade, he wouldn't be very interesting. So like we have our dark hair, we have our dark mouth. So you want to have different color values when you're painting something. You don't want them all the same value. Like this is like a medium value, or you could go with a dark value. So it don't have to be all light either. So like if I grab these three colors, and I'm just grabbing colors out of my cart. Say I wanted to put these three colors on something, and I don't know if they really go together. So I take this and I can look at on the color scale that this color green is probably equal. So you can see it's lighter than the black, our value 1, but I can move it on. It's probably down here where the 4 and 5 are. And now if I take my blue again, it's lighter than the black, but it's probably right there at the 5. If I come way over here, it's darker than the white, so he's back at the 5. Same with our charcoal, it's brighter than the black. Bring it around here, it's pretty equal to our 4. It's definitely darker than our white. So again, we have all three color values, even though they're different colors. When you look on your grayscale, they're pretty close in the color value, and you really don't want your piece to have all of the same color value. You want to have different color values, like the light, medium, and dark. And I can show you another good example of that is our navy, our medium blue, and our baby blue. So you can see you have dark, medium, and light. So that's when I'm using colors, that's why you see me using 3 shades of a color, because we have a dark color, a medium color, and a light color. And again, you can go to that color wheel, and this is what I use the color wheel for the most. It's this value thing. So it's darker than black, or it's lighter than black. It's darker than the white, so it's kind of equal. Like the value or brightness of this blue is probably equal to this 5, or maybe even the 4. Probably the 4. So now we have our medium blue, a lot brighter than black. A lot darker, start over, a lot brighter than black, a lot darker than white. It's kind of equal to this number, the 8 here, meaning the brightness of it. Then we got our light blue, which is, a lot lighter than black, a little bit darker than our white, but yet kind of equal to our 9. So we have a dark, a medium, and a light. So that's what you're looking at when you look at that color wheel. That's probably the best thing you can do with that color wheel. But otherwise, like you can flip on this side. Say you don't know, you want to do a room in all oranges or yellows. You can look at all the different yellows in this section that match. Or you can do the 2 side by side. So you could go orange and green. You could go yellow, orange, and orange. You can go across from each other. You can split it into 3. It's just a great way to use that color wheel. It's really a handy little tool for the price. And right now we only have 2, but you can get them at Hobby Lobby too, or probably Joann's Fabric, probably for about the same price.
I know Hobby Lobby has them by the paintbrushes.
We're over by the paint brushes. But if you have trouble with value and like your pieces are kind of blah. It might be because like you have the same, even though you have different colors, you have like the same shade, like they're all black or they're all dark or they're all medium. So you can see how that's boring. Let me grab the blues again. But now when you like compare the dark, medium, and light of the blues, look at how much action like this has compared to this. Even though it's different colors, this is more lively. So hopefully that helps kind of explain that color wheel a little bit. Okay, so what's next? Oh, our box, you guys. The box. Oh, kind of like the plane. Courtney says, are you ready?
Can you tell her what brushes you use? And I already did for that.
So I used a 4595. They're all Royal and Langnickel. 5.0 liner.
Those on the website.
3 flat, a 5 flat, and a 5 round. But my brushes, I'm kind of looking like I need new ones here. When they get down to this point, they're kind of done. It's kind of hard to throw them out though, because you might use them for something. So I'll put them aside so we can wash them out later. Then we have our box.
Guess what they are?
Does everybody guess what our October box is? Do we have guesses with our little cheat up in the corner that we had? Any guesses what the box is?
Your oopsie.
Any guesses what the box is? Because here it comes. So our box is... Oh, Faye says no. You must have missed it, Faye. All right. Well, our box is their Mako pumpkins. So we have the fluted pumpkin and we have the knitted pumpkin. And they've been showing a lot of glazed pictures with these guys. So we're actually dry brushing them to look like the glazed pieces. So we have the fluted pumpkin, and it's done with deep turquoise, light turquoise, and silver. And then we have the knitted pumpkin, which is done with navy, medium blue, and baby blue, and silver. And then they were both sprayed with a gloss sealer.
You can do brush on if you need.
You could do brush on gloss sealer too, or you could do them in satin or matte. It's up to you, but I wanted them to look a lot like the Mako pictures with the glaze look to them. So we'll probably finish these guys in 2 nights. So hopefully you guys like the pumpkins. Looks like we got lots of hearts going up. And of course you could always do them with a different colors, whatever you want.
If you do purple, post it.
Courtney says if you do purple, post it. To me, the blue one kind of has a purple hue to it, but it is navy and medium blue and baby blue. Excuse me. So it looks like you guys are liking them. Awesome. Then we do have other pumpkins that you can add to the box that we got from Mako also. So we have the, I gotta think, the oval pumpkin, which is this green guy. And then you'll be able to add these on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. You have to be getting the box and pick in-store pickup. And then that will give you free shipping. Then this is the squatty pumpkin that I did a leather technique on it. So there's actually tissue paper torn up and underneath the orange one. We'll probably do this as one of the freebie classes because we will have 2 freebie classes because those pumpkins won't take long to do. And then the third one you can add is the beaded pumpkin. And that was done with fuchsia. So these are 3 pumpkins you can add to your box. And then we have other pumpkins we'll be showing you in the special after party that you could probably add to your box too. So this one was done with fuchsia and azalea.
You're going to paint all of them on camera, you think?
We probably could.
For sure the orange.
We'll for sure do the orange one because that'll be one night. And it's made to look like leather. I don't know if you can see it, but it's real wrinkly on there, and it's not as washed out looking as it looks. It's more of a peach color. And then they all have the silver stems. And then this one is fuchsia with silver. And then this one was avocado with lime burst and lemon peel and then lime burst again. So those are pumpkins you can add. But these are your October pumpkin boxes, and Courtney says she didn't give it a name yet. So that is your boxes, and if you want to add the pumpkins to your box, go to Brenda's brushstrokesandbisque.com. You can add it and do store pickup. That will get you free shipping.
If you run out, you'll have more for next month. Right?
Yep, if we run out, I'll let the molds dry and we'll have more that we can add next month. So this is the beaded pumpkin because it's got the little beads on it. This is the oval pumpkin. This is the squatty pumpkin with the leather technique.
As long as you don't have a P.O. box, we'll do free shipping on any extras.
And Courtney says as long as you don't have a P.O. box, we'll be able to do free shipping on any extras. So, and we're only offering these to the Bisque box people, so you can be a subscriber or getting a one-time box. Pumpkin patch. Yeah, I told her pumpkin patch. So let's see. Let's show them the rub-on metallic ones quick before we go away too. So Linda, you'll have to go to Brenda's brushstrokesandbisque.com and add them to your. Cordy put the link so you can just add them, purchase them, and put store pickup, and then she will know to pull them for you. So we'll have this set of 3 pumpkins that you can purchase too, but these were done with the rub-on metallics. It was painted black, and this is a set of 3 that you'll be able to purchase. It's for the after show. But you paint these black and then rub on the metallic silver, and then I sealed them, and then we actually Casey did these. Then they're sealed, and then you put the brush on, sealer on the stems, and put the black onyx glitter on it. So we have lots of pumpkins, and we'll clean off the table and show you guys the after party. We'll have more to show you. Courtney says, hold on a minute.
So the paint list is super short.
The paint list is super short. No, nothing new. But we will have to sign off, and then
It's on that main box.
it's on the main box page. Courtney just shared it now.
I've also been putting your replay videos on there as well.
And Courtney has the replay videos on there too, and she'll get those onto YouTube as well. But this is your October box, the fluted pumpkin and the knitted pumpkin with gloss sealer sprayed on them. So they kind of look like they're glazed, but they're not, and they're pretty cool. Very easy to do. So we will now sign off, and we will come back. And next week we will pick up with your September box and finish these guys off.
You're going to finish them?
No, it'll take 2 more times. But we'll work on these guys again next week. But in the meantime, we're going to sign off, and we'll come back. We just need a few minutes to clean off the table and get organized. So we'll see any of you after partiers in a few minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Give us like 5 minutes. Okay, everyone? See you in a bit.